Welcome to the Stepmom Side with Alicia, the podcast for stepmoms ready to create the life they want and one they actually have a say in. Here we talk all things stepmom life and just a little bit more. Leave the superficial conversations at the door and get ready for perspective shifts and actionable advice to help you on your way to creating the life you want, one step at a time. Hey there, welcome back to the Stepmom Side podcast. I'm your host, Alicia, and let's just get real for a second. You don't just wake up one morning and decide, you know what would make today amazing? You know what would make today awesome? Is feeling resentful toward everyone in this house. No, that is not at all what happens. But what does happen is it sneaks in quietly. Like laundry you meant to fold 3 days ago, suddenly it's just there, staring at you, arms crossed with attitude like, fold me. You're annoyed at your partner, you're irritated with the kids, and you're wondering when exactly you became the background character in your own life. Do you ever feel like that? It took me a long time, and then one day I woke up and I just was like, oh my gosh, I'm a shell of my former self. Like, how did I get here? So today, as you can tell by the title of this podcast, we're talking about why resentment sneaks in so easily for stepmoms, and more importantly, how to stop it from running the show. How to stop letting it run the show. How to stop it from constantly coming back. Because resentment is like a slow leak. It doesn't explode at first, but it will flatten out every bit of joy and connection if you don't patch it up. And then you're left feeling like a shell of your former self. And if this episode hits a little too close to home, I just want to let you know you are not alone. Come hang out with us inside the Stepmom Side community. The holidays are very quickly coming, and I would love to have you in there getting the support that you need before the holidays show up and you blow up before you blow up and wait, blow out. No, that's not right. You're not blowing out a tire. Maybe you are trying to keep it all together. But inside the Stepmom Side community, you'll find stepmoms who get it, who won't judge you or your feelings, and who help you see this from a whole new perspective. So let's dive into what resentment really is. Here's the thing. Resentment isn't some big dramatic emotion that shows up with a flashing sign. Hey, resentment is here. Pick me. I'm excited. No, it doesn't. It's quiet. It's sneaky. It builds little by little by little. You know how things are always swept under the rug? And then one day you look at the rug and it's halfway to the ceiling because it's just floating. Well, it's not really floating. It's got everything under it. And there's that saying that it's the straw that broke the camel's back, but it's never the straw. I mean, it's never the last thing that broke the back. It's all of the other million things. Death by 1,000 cuts, right? Resentment usually starts from trying to be the bigger person one too many times. Resentment is just anger that's been sitting out too long. It's the frustration that never got addressed because you were too busy keeping the peace or avoiding conflict. How many times have you done that? How many times have you tried to keep the peace? How many times have you tried to avoid conflict because you don't want to be the person that does it, right? You don't want to be the squeaky wheel. Maybe you thought, I can't say that, it'll just cause a fight. Or I don't want to sound ungrateful. Or my personal favorite, this is totally me, so let me know if it's you too. It's fine, I'll just handle it. And then you find yourself saying, it's fine, I'll just handle it. Or you'll say, it's fine, I'll just handle it, right? It's never it's fine. But meanwhile, you're folding the stepkids' laundry thinking, why am I the only one who seems to care about whether anyone has clean underwear? You're planning the family dinners, organizing the weekends, keeping up with the schedule, and still feeling like the outsider. And that, right there, that is how resentment sneaks in. It's not because you're mean or selfish, it's because you're human. And you have a mental capacity, you have limits too, and it's just the emotional labor that not everyone else sees, right? Okay, so let's break it down. Here's why resentment shows up and refuses to leave. 1, unmet expectations. You knew being a stepmom would be tricky, but you didn't sign up for this level of chaos. You probably thought you'd eventually feel like part of the family, like a team with your partner, but instead you're juggling logistics, emotions, and awkward loyalty binds that make you feel like a third wheel in your own house. You expected partnership, but got project management. I feel like I should have a hard hat that says like project manager, and I get to run the show and I get to do all of the things because yeah, I didn't sign up for the level of chaos that I jumped into like as a stepmom. You probably feel the same way, right? Like, and you still feel like the outsider, obviously, because you're here listening to this podcast episode or you're listening to my podcast at all. Number 2, the invisible labor. I did just touch on this a bit ago, but raise your hand if you've ever done something for your stepkids that no one noticed or no one even thanked you for. And here's the thing about like the thank you part. This drives me crazy because I'm a pretty polite person. Like I'm very please and thank you are like at the core of my vocabulary. And I don't think that it's outlandish. I don't think that it's crazy for a stepmom to expect a please or a thank you. I think politeness goes so far in so many ways. Please and thank you go so far. So when I don't get a please or a thank you, specifically a thank you, I'm like, are you kidding me? I just put in all of this work and didn't get a thank you. What in the actual, like, I'm about to flip a table. I know that sounds dramatic, but literally. It's frustrating though, right? Like you do all this work and no one notices or you don't even get a thank you. But that's exactly the issue. You're doing the emotional janitorial work. You're cleaning up the messes, smoothing transitions, or sitting in the corner as a ball of nerves, scheduling appointments, remembering birthdays, packing bags, all of the things that keep the house running. And half the time, it's like no one even sees it. That invisibility breeds resentment fast. And I just want to take a break here and just say, as a stepmom, I felt like a crazy person. And to a degree, I was made to feel like a crazy person for all of the invisible labor that I did, but still didn't feel included, which is a complete mindfuck in its own. Like you're doing all of the things, but like you're still this outsider, like in this house that you're doing all of the things for. And I'm like, please help me understand why I'm not accepted and why I'm not part of this family when I'm doing whatever. But then now that I have my own kid, shockingly, sometimes I still have the same frustration. And people are like, oh yeah, that's a normal part of being a mom. Really? Because as a stepmom, it was worse. But now that I feel this as a mom, I get it. Like it's my kid. But as a stepmom, it's a million times worse. And that part really, really just really frustrates me. Number 3, boundary confusion. You want to be helpful. You want to be included. You want to be supportive. So you say yes when you want to scream, abso-freaking-lutely not. You volunteer for the things that aren't your responsibility because you feel guilty saying no. And then you also think like, well, if I say no, then my stepkid thinks that I hate me, or my partner thinks that I hate them, or, you know, I am telling my partner that I feel left out, but I don't want to do this thing. And then my partner's like, well, that's why you feel left out because you never say yes to doing all of the things. But guess what? Every yes you didn't mean becomes another brick in your resentment wall. Every time that you've said yes, when you've wanted to scream abso-freaking-lutely not, you're just building that wall of resentment. And you're like, oh my God, how did I get here? Let me tell you. Let me count the ways. Let's go over it together. Not right now, not today, because this is a one-way conversation. I'm just talking to you. But in coaching, like we can go back and forth on that and like break it down for you. Literally deconstruct the wall. Number 4, comparison and control. This one is a big one too. So if you're multitasking, please come back to me. Comparison and control. You start comparing yourself to the ex, to the other stepmoms that you see maybe on social media that feel like they have it all together and like everything is great. What you don't see is that they are crying themselves to sleep, or they are having a breakdown in the car because they have to go in and it's transition day and they're overwhelmed and they also feel like the outsider. So you compare yourself to the ex. So the other stepmoms that you see maybe in real life or maybe like on social media. You know, I'm going to tell you a story. I wasn't going to plan on telling you the story, but I'm going to tell you the story. There is a friend of my husband's. He remarried not long after we did to this other woman that I really liked. I didn't know the ex, but like I really liked his wife. And we bonded kind of like because, you know, we both married guys like in the same profession, and, you know, she was a stepmom, and it was horrible for me. I hated it. Where when I would talk to her, like their life was perfect. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's beautiful, like just wonderful, like the sweetest, like I could just put her in my pocket. Love her to death. And I used to get stuck in this spiral of like, I don't understand why it's so great for her, why it's so easy for her, why she's not struggling with this, why is this happening? Like, why am I struggling with this? Why can I not get past this? Why, all of the things. And then, so that was, we've been married 10 and a half years. So that was 10 years ago. And the last year and a half or so, we've been getting together. For a while, like we just hadn't gotten together. She doesn't have kids of her own, and her stepkids are now out of the house. They're a little bit older than my stepkids. And we have gotten together, and she's opened up about their relationship and like struggles that they're having. And I'm like, what? And she was like, oh, it's always been rocky from the start. And we were out for a walk, and I stopped and I looked at her and I was like, are you kidding me right now? Are you serious? You guys, your relationship has always been rocky? I literally could not even believe what she was telling me. I stopped walking, mouth on the ground, turned completely face her, shocked, literally shocked, because from the outside looking in, their relationship looked 100% perfect. And she was like, yeah, it's always been rocky, even from the beginning. And she kind of opened up about all of the things. And I thought, that's crazy. And I did tell her, that's wild, because for years, I absolutely compared our marriage to yours. And I didn't understand how I was struggling so much, but everything was like picture perfect for you guys and nothing was a problem. And I'm going to try not to cry too as I'm telling this, but she had tears in her eyes and she was like, Alicia, I was pretending. I was faking it. I didn't, she had moved here from a different country. So kind of not like me, but kind of like me. Like she had, or very much like me, didn't have any support system here, like knew no one, all of the things. And she was like, there's nothing I could do. Like, what am I going to do? I didn't know like who I could trust. I didn't have anyone. And I'm like, wow, I had no idea. I'm really sorry. I can absolutely relate to that. I struggled so much, and I just thought that your guys' relationship was perfect. So I never opened up to you about how much I was really, really struggling and how I was Googling how to get divorced. And she was like, what? Are you kidding me? And I was like, oh yeah, I spent the very first year of our marriage Googling how to get divorced all the time because I hated it. It sucked. And she was like, oh my gosh, I wish one of us would have said something to the other one, because I was in the depths of it. And I thought, this is terrible. Is it always going to be like this? So now, like my relationship with my husband is so much better and it's a lot easier and smooth sailing, but holy shit, it was terrible at the beginning. But their relationship was rocky at the beginning and then was good, and then it's like okay now. And so we were just talking through different things, and she's like, you're a stepmom coach, like, can you help me out with a few things? And I was like, of course. Anyway, but that just goes to show you, don't compare yourself to whoever it is that you see. Even if it's a friend, like, don't compare yourself or your relationship to somebody else, because you don't know what they're going through. But also, even like one step further, don't compare yourself to some imaginary version of what you should be. I think we get tripped up here, because I did too. I was like, well, I was telling her, like, I shouldn't be struggling so much. I can't believe I'm struggling so much, right? Like, strong, independent, driven, ambitious, like, here, I can just figure it out. I'll just persevere. No, you won't. Absolutely, you will not. I had this imaginary version of, I would be like Mary Poppins, but like a stepmom, and everyone would love me and it would be great because I'm awesome and like I'm so nice and I'm very polite and I'm willing to help. Like, here's how I can help. Like, you watch this. I'm so good at this. Like, I'm so good at running my life. Like, let me run yours. Wrong. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And so we just get caught comparing ourselves to the ex. Like, what was their relationship like? Oh, how long were they married? Oh, and I've talked about this in coaching calls too, and it feels weird to say it on the podcast, but you get caught comparing yourself to the ex, like to where she lives, to what she drives, to the clothes that she wears, to how big or small her body is, to how pretty or not pretty she is, to maybe like what their sex life could be. Like, that's the part that's weird, because I've been on coaching calls where stepmoms have said that and they're like, I feel weird telling you this. And I'm like, girl, I've been there too. Like, I get it. But yeah, comparing yourself to the ex, comparing yourself to other stepmoms that you see on social media that you may or may not know in real life, but then also like that imaginary version of what you should be. I think that one is the killer because it's in your head. Like, I shouldn't be struggling with this as much as I am, because I was, and then I just like circled the drain about it. And when things feel out of control, you try to tighten your grip, right? Like, you try to tighten your grip. You're like, I'll just persevere even more, which just makes you more anxious, which makes you more frustrated, which makes you more resentful. It's a vicious cycle. The more you try to control everything, the more out of control you feel, and the more demeaning or degrading or condescending you are to yourself. And you're just like, I can't get out of here. I can't, like, how do I stop the spiral? How do I get out of this? Okay, another thing, suppressed emotions. You've been keeping the peace for so long that one day a single dirty sock sends you into a full-blown meltdown. Remember, like the straw that broke the camel's back? It wasn't that straw. It was like 800 straws that were on the back. It's never about that last thing. It's never about the dirty dishes. It's never about the backpack in the mudroom floor. It's never about the crumbs on the counter. You're not crazy. You're just full, emotionally maxed out. And when you don't have a safe place to unload all of that, resentment absolutely takes the wheel because you can't see outside of it. Like I said, it's a vicious cycle. The more you try to control everything, the more out of control you feel, and you can't get out of it, and you can't get out of it, and you can't get out of it. It's like you're in a roundabout and you're just driving around and around and around, and you can see the exits, but you don't, or like the other roads that you can take, but you don't know how to get there. So now let's talk solutions, because you don't have to live like this. Please take it from me. Don't live like this. It sucks. You will absolutely be in the depths of despair. Dear Google, how do I get divorced? What happens? So number one, let's acknowledge it without judgment. You can't fix what you refuse to admit. Let's say that you are like me and you're like, you know what? I'm so good at running my life. Like, let me run yours, because that was absolutely the attitude that I showed up with. Let me just tell you, like, it did not serve me at all. Like, it was terrible. Like, it left me stuck. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I'm so good at this. Like, why won't anyone let me do this? Because I'm the stepmom, duh. Now I can look back and say that, but at that time I was like, hello, my ego is driving the bus. This is my forte. Let's go, guys. But I couldn't fix what I was refusing to admit. Like, I had absolutely no place coming in and being like, hey, I can take over this. Actually, I can just take over all of the things. Well, no, I can't, because yes, this is my life, but there are other things that have already been at play here, and I need to figure out, like, watch, observe, and figure out, like, how this works. Also, resentment doesn't mean you're broken. It means something inside you needs attention. So say it out loud. Journal it, drop it into a voice note, or my favorite, talk about it inside the Stepmom Side community with people, stepmoms, who actually get it. Because I can guarantee you, you're not the only one that feels this way. Number two, identify the source. Ask yourself, what's really behind this? Is it that your partner isn't stepping up? Is it that you feel unappreciated? Or is it that you've been trying to control things that were never yours to control? Resentment is always pointing to something that needs your attention. So I'm going to use an example here, because this is something that I hear a lot in the community and in coaching. And I dealt with this too. Like, your stepkids aren't doing what you want them to be doing. Maybe they're not cleaning up after themselves. And so if you ask yourself, what's behind this? And you're like, well, my stepkids are annoying, or they're just jerks because they don't listen to me. And in our marriage counseling, I was, going on and on about this, and our counselor said, is it that you're annoyed with your stepkids that they're not doing this? Or is it that you're annoyed with your partner because he's not stepping up and enforcing this and supporting you? And I was like, it's my stepkids, duh. Like, are you stupid or something? Of course, I did not say that. I'm not a jerk. But I was thinking it in my head, right? Ego is driving the bus at this point, like full on, like not listening, because I am so good at running my life. Remember, like, I could run the therapists too. And she was like, Alicia, listen to me. You are mad at your husband because of these things. And she repeated back to me what I had said. And I was like, no, how? And she is like, well, let me count the ways. If you're asking for these things, like you, at that point we had house expectations, if they're not being done and your husband's not supporting you in that, and then it sunk in, the light bulb came on and I was like, oh, she's right. She's right. It's that my husband wasn't stepping up. It's that he wasn't being supportive or as supportive as I wanted him to be. He wasn't doing it in all the ways that I wanted him to do. And I did feel unappreciated. And I was trying to control things that were never mine to control. And that came from me not feeling safe, me not feeling seen, me not feeling heard. Like all of, you're a stepmom, like you're here, you get it, like you know, right? So number 3, let's adjust your boundaries and some expectations. This one's huge. You can't expect your partner or your stepkids to change if you're still operating on autopilot. You can't expect your partner or stepkids to change if you're still operating on autopilot. Remember that roundabout I had talked about? Like going around and around and around and you're like not getting off? That. So if you're just on autopilot going in the circles, like you can't, no one's going to change, right? And this sucks. I feel like a broken record saying this, but sometimes it's the stepmom getting the outside help to make the changes for herself that make massive changes inside her family. And here's what I always say. Start small. Say no once. Let something go. But start small, because if you start with something really, really big, it feels very overwhelming. It feels very taxing. It feels very scary because what if, right? And then when push comes to shove, like you don't end up saying no. So start small and build your confidence that way. So it's like a multi-layered thing. We're setting boundaries. We're adjusting our expectations. We're also building confidence. So if you start with something small and it's an easy win, great, you're going to keep going. But if you start with something really big and you say no and you get a massive blowback, you're probably going to be less likely to say no next time. You're going to be like, I'll just do it. That's so much easier, right? So boundaries aren't punishment. They're clarity. And clarity is what gives you freedom. And people that don't like your boundaries are the people that have benefited from you not having boundaries. Like, let me just put that little plug in there for you. People that don't like your boundaries are people that benefited from you not having boundaries. That goes for anyone, whether it's the ex, the kids, your partner. But again, boundaries aren't punishment, they're clarity, and that clarity is what's going to give you freedom. Number 4, reclaim what's yours. Reclaim what's yours. You can't control the ex. You can't control the custody schedule. You can't control how the kids feel about you. But what you can control is your time, your responses, which used to be reactions. We're going to turn them into responses, and your energy. I need you to stop trying to earn your worth in the family. You already belong. Resentment just keeps you from seeing it. Resentment keeps you as that outsider. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh my God, I cannot believe that I just told you that. That literally just came out of my mouth. I feel like my husband. There are so many times, I'm just going to level with you. There are so many times that I am recording a podcast episode or I'm on a coaching call and I say something that my husband used to say to me all of the time and I would want to just shake him. And one of the things was like, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like in that roundabout, if I just keep going around and around on the roundabout, like, of course, that's what's going to happen. Of course, I don't see that I belong because resentment keeps me from seeing it. And so then you're like, see, I don't belong here. Oh my God, I cannot believe I just said that. I am so sorry. I'm not going to edit this out, but I'm like, I can't believe I just said that. But yeah, you get to control, my face is really red. You can control your time. You can control your reactions, which are now going to be responses because we're going to work on not just blurting something out. We're going to work on thinking through what we're going to say. We're going to work on thinking through what we're going to do. And you also get to control like where your energy goes. If it doesn't feel like it's serving you to go to every single kid event, we don't go to every single kid event. That's fine. That's okay. Number 5, we're going to shift the story. Your brain loves a good narrative, right? I mean, that's kind of the basic instinct for survival. Like that's how we survive. That's how we keep going as humans. Your brain loves a good narrative. Also, your brain can't tell if you're joking or not. So this is so nerdy, so corny. I've talked about it before on the podcast too. But I, growing up, never had like I never had words of affirmation, but like a mantra, whatever you want to say. But words of affirmation were never something that my mom ever spoke to us. And ever since my daughter was like 6 months old, I would say things to her like, I am brave, I am smart, I am kind, I am strong, I can do anything, and I love myself. That was really important to me because I wanted her to have that confidence straight away. Like I wanted her to know those things about her right away. But here's the thing. Obviously, at that time in her life, she couldn't talk. She talks nonstop now, but she couldn't talk. So I did little actions with them. Like brave, I would make like a muscle. Smart, I would like put to her brain. Or brave, I would put her hand over her heart. Smart, I'm like doing the actions as I'm telling you. Smart, I would put them like point to her temple. Strong would be, her little flexing bicep, like, and so on and so forth. But I wanted her to know them from the very beginning. And it's, again, like I'm going to try like not to get choked up here, but breaking cycles is really, really hard. And so when I see her doing something that I've worked so hard to get and like have and instill in her, to see her have it, I'm like, I want to squeeze you. Like I love you. Anyway, so your brain loves a good narrative. It can't tell if you're joking or not. And if you're speaking good things to yourself, or if you're saying great things about yourself to yourself, even if it feels corny, even if it feels nerdy, like I felt so corny writing out these affirmations for her. I even like rainbow color coordinated it. Like I am brave was in red. I am smart was in orange, right? Like, so it was, every sentence was a different color of the rainbow. I felt so nerdy. I felt so like, oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous. I can't believe that I'm doing this. But it worked. My brain didn't know that it was a joke. So your brain loves a good narrative. Let's rewrite it. Instead of no one appreciates me, try I'm choosing what matters most to me today. Instead of no one appreciates me, try I'm choosing what matters most to me today. Instead of this family doesn't include me, try I'm building connection in my own way. This isn't toxic positivity, it's taking back your power. This isn't toxic positivity, it's taking back your power. So when I finally admitted my resentment, it wasn't cute. It didn't come out in the best way. I was mad at my husband. I was mad at my situation. More importantly, like I was mad at myself. Like, how did I let myself get here? Like, I know better, right? Like, you probably know better. Like, you're like, how am I here? Like, what is happening? I felt like I was doing everything and still losing. But when I finally said, I'm exhausted from pretending I'm fine. I'm exhausted pretending like everything's fine. That's when things shifted. That's when I started building boundaries that made sense for me, not just everyone else. They made sense for me. Not everyone liked them either, and that's okay. You kind of have to get comfortable with not everyone liking you. It's really scary. It's really awkward. It's really nerve-wracking at first, especially if you're a recovering people pleaser, but it's okay. But that's also when I started letting go of things that weren't mine to carry. And that's what I want for you. That moment where you exhale and you realize you've got more control than you thought. So let me do a really quick recap of how to stop resentment from like seeping in. Number 1, acknowledge it without judgment. Number 2, identify the source. Number 3, adjust your boundaries and expectations. Number 4, reclaim what's yours. Number 5, shift the story. And here's the truth. Resentment doesn't make you a bad stepmom. It makes you a stepmom who's been carrying too much for too long without enough support. But you don't have to stay stuck there. You don't have to stay stuck in that. You can have peace without perfection. I just had a podcast episode on this. You can feel connected without overgiving. And you can build a blended family dynamic that doesn't drain you dry. One that you're not trying to escape. One that you're like, oh my God, I need a glass of wine, or insert whatever you drink to get through the night or to get through transition day. You don't have to stay stuck there. You can come hang out with us inside the Stepmom Side community where we unpack stuff like this every week, and a safe space full of women who actually get it. And honestly, if you're ready for something deeper, my one-to-one coaching sessions are where we dig into your specific situation and build a plan that helps you breathe again. If you head to aliciacrosco.com/coaching, that's where you can find that. You deserve to feel calm, confident, and in control, not the one sock on the floor away from snapping. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast episode. If it resonated with you, please share it on social media. If you do, please tag me, send it to a stepmom that you know needs to hear this, and I will chat with you next week. Thanks for taking time to listen to this week's episode. If anything was helpful or resonated with you, please share it on social media and tag me. I'm just at Alicia Crosco. And if you could leave a 5-star rating and a review while you're at it, that would also be really helpful. And if you find yourself struggling with your stepmom journey and you want a little bit more support without the hefty price tag of coaching, you might want to check out the Stepmom Side community, which is my own private community for stepmoms, where you get to connect with other stepmoms around the world and myself, where I hold weekly office hours and monthly group coaching. It's kind of like you have your own personal coach in your own back pocket. Again, without that hefty price tag. See you next week.